Welcome to week 7, Learning to Read in a New Language. This week, it's hard to believe we're already at the midpoint of our course, but we have arrived at the halfway point. So this week, before you dive into the content, I have as step 1, your mid-semester feedback. So do make sure that you complete that survey before getting into the content for this week. I take student feedback seriously, and I do my best to make adjustments to the course at the midpoint if I can. And I certainly will take your feedback about what you like and what you wish that I would change into account for next semester when I'm teaching this course. So please take a few minutes and give me share some of your thoughts on the course thus far. Moving on, this week we are going to be talking about what it means to learn to read in a new language. So you'll be engaging in 2 chapters that dive into this topic, one from the Gibbons text and one from a text that's focused more on secondary students' context, although I think even if you teach elementary school, you'll find it useful. And then you also have one short film that you'll be watching, a 40-minute film that was created by Dr. Catherine Snow and Dr. Lily Wong Fillmore that discusses some of the difficulties that students face when learning to read. And while it's an older film, you'll see that in the way that people are dressed in the video. I do find it to be still very helpful for helping teachers to experience firsthand what it's like to learn in a new language or learn to read in a new language, and also for giving you a chance to identify some of the things that might be challenging as your multilingual learners are engaging with text. So you will begin this week actually by watching that film. And I have a mini lecture after that gives you some more information about opportunities, challenges, and strategies for supporting multilingual learners in reading. And then you'll be moving into the readings. I do want you to note that there are 2 strategies embedded into this week that you'll be learning about. The first one is one you're going to try as a reading strategy for the chapters for this week. It's called an anticipation guide. So before you read this week's chapters, you're going to be downloading the anticipation guide and answering, reading the statements and predicting if you think those statements are true or false. And then you'll be reading the readings to see if you were right. So do make sure you do that before you read so that the activity is meaningful. After you've done the readings, then you move on to reading strategy number 2, which is about teaching text structures with graphic organizers. There's a brief video you'll watch, and then a short mini lecture that I've put together, giving you some examples of what that looks like in practice. So that is everything in terms of content. Then we'll move into discussing and applying. So as usual, you have the discussion board for this week. You'll be working on your unit, this time integrating reading strategies. So everything that's highlighted in red in your unit plan. And as a reminder, continue working on your PD project and your advocacy problem paper. The one additional assignment for this week is your praxis quiz. It's a tongue twister. And for that, you will be you'll click on a link that'll take you to the quiz, and you have unlimited opportunities to take it. So it's really just designed to get you used to the format of the praxis test if you haven't already taken it. And it asks you questions about instructional strategies, most of which are related to topics we've covered thus far in the course. So again, you can take it until you have a perfect score, but when the week ends, that's your grade for that quiz. So that is everything in terms of content. I do hope you enjoyed this week. Every teacher, as we've talked about, is a language teacher. So every teacher does teach reading, no matter what grade you teach. And so I hope you have some important takeaways from the content this week. And I look forward to reading about it on the discussion board. Have a good one.